companies outsmarted the Turks by saying that you are liable for that. This is happening in 1921, at a moment when the West was in a deal with the rising Kemalist movement to develop and craft a new treaty, the infamous Lausanne Treaty, where it was a business deal between US and Turkey. So the insurance companies were soliciting and requesting from their State Department to interfere on their behalf, so that in the Lausanne Treaty there will be specific clauses that will exonerate the insurance companies from payments of these sums to the victims of the genocide, and let the Turkish government actually absorb the costs of these payments. We know what happened. The Lausanne Treaty came in, and the word Armenian did not exist, and the initial request for financial reparation and restitution that were very well laid down in the Sèvres Treaty were all scrapped, and the Lausanne Treaty came in force. This is for the insurance company of New York Life. There was also the French Union Insurance Company, Union V, which also had the equivalent amount of about $11 million worth of life insurance policies. Most of these policies, the insurance companies acknowledge, were issued on the lives of the Armenians. And most of the agents of the insurance companies were Armenians as well. Because it seems that the life insurance and life being a speculation, it is against Quranic principles. Most of their customers were Armenians. As a result, the French insurance companies also is trying to write a letter to the French Foreign Ministry to collaborate with the American insurance companies at the Lausanne Treaty, so that they will add in it all of the necessary clauses to protect the benefits of the insurance companies. So this is all facts that we know about, but it is clear that by 1921 that the Turkish government was unable to collect the life insurance policy benefits for itself, and the money was kept by the insurers. The symbolic gestures that we have seen in the recent settlements here by the efforts of Marquez Yahyayan and a few others was just a small token, has nothing to do with the billions that is in today's amount. Only a handful of $1 million were actually made available for those who wanted, who were the heirs of the victims. And in the settlements that was reached between the insurance companies and the few of the heirs of the survivors, the word genocide was not mentioned. It was just a deal on a personal level, saying that X wants a certain amount of money from insurance company B, and that was settled, and that's gone. So this is by no means finished business. There are a lot of other insurance companies, Star of London, Victoria of London, La Suisse Fédérale in Switzerland, but we know nothing how many of their insurance in Turkey were of Armenian origin. But we know well that the agents of these insurance companies were Armenians. And these Armenians were in touch with the Morgenthau's office to help them relieve the pressure exerted by Turkey to get the money from the insurance companies. So through this investigation, it was very clear that in the eyes of the insurance companies, can you imagine, that the killings were so wanton, so clearly unrelated to wars, that even the insurance companies were not capable of denying the payments because they could not invoke war-related clauses in this issue. So this is the insurance company's saga. By no means it is closed. And when it came to the few of the victims asking from British government to interfere on their behalf for payments, the British response was quite swift. We do not honor payments of life insurance policy to a subject of an enemy country. So the Armenian victims could not do that. However, the situation was different with France and the United States. But nevertheless, the insurance companies kept the money, and we do have still upwards of $25 million in the 1916 monies, which is in the amount of billions in today's money. So it's an unsettled question, despite the fact that people say that the New York Life has come to a settlement. There is no settlement. The second fascinating issue that was brought by two former British foreign prime minister is the so-called Armenian gold. So in that memorial, these two prime ministers mentioned that the $25 million worth of Armenian money were stolen from the Armenian bank accounts and were transferred to Constantinople, and from there they were transferred to the German bank's Reichsbank. And what is the evidence for that? This is one statement that came in, and there were nothing in addition to that. So through my research, I discovered at least 4 to 5 different orders of evidence that actually suggest and support the veracity of this theft. In the first place is the 1919 Turkish Military Tribunals, which took place in Constantinople. Right after the war, in 1918, there was a period of 2 years during which the Turks could discuss freely about the genocide, about the killings, about the looting, about the theft, without being arrested. As a matter of fact, there was this military tribunal set up specially to prosecute the perpetrators of the genocide. During these tribunals, a host of documents, eyewitness accounts, testimonies were collected so that the 3 major participants and the masterminds of the genocide, Talat, Enver, and Jamal, were sentenced to death in absentia. They were smuggled out of the country before the war ended by German battleship to Berlin. We know that. So during this period, the foreign minister of Turkey in 1919 and June 30, right before the execution orders were issued by the Turkish Military Tribunal, Damat Ferit Pasha, in a letter to the French Prime Minister Georges Clemenceau, requests that he help the Turkish government to secure the names and the banks in which the 3 very criminals had deposited large sums of money. In this letter, the Turkish foreign minister clearly indicates that those monies were the result of extortion and embezzlement by the 3 very criminals, and he cites the names, that were deposited in Berlin banks. We have tried to get from Berlin help to tell us which banks they deposited these monies, what were the amounts of these monies, but we were unable to get any cooperation from the German government. So could you help us, you French,